What up, everyone? Welcome to another week and another session of Star Trek Iskandar. I'm being both your Izzy and your GM today, so you've got to put up with twice as much nonsense because I'm doing the intro.
You haven't sworn yet.
I haven't sworn yet, so it's always an improvement, but otherwise, fuck it. Not a lot of intro to do really today. Helps and hinders are still not working. Unfortunately, there's tech gremlins. Tech gremlins ate the helps and hinders. So, as he's nodding and confirming that that's what's happened there. So, you can still do helps and hinders the old-fashioned way of giving us monies. I cannot remember what the numbers that go with that are and how that works. So, if somebody wants to help or hinder.
I think the amounts are listed below, and it's one extra penny for a hinder than a help.
And
because
that's how we know which one you meant.
But just message in the chat or message the AU crew and just be like, what up, I've done this. I'm still working on the workaround, but Streamlabs is arse.
So yes, Streamlabs ate my trash bags. And presumably all of yours. But it's fine. You can chuck them one of these three are GMing instead. So with that little announcement out of the way, we're just going to dive straight in, I think. So, previously on Star Trek Iskandar, the crew of the USS Iskandar, as seen below, Kath, Mike, and Izzy in some order. I don't know. I'm not looking at the VOD. Have done a bit more exploring of this mysterious ship that's out in the void, and found that shit's haunted. Very, very haunted. Well, 75% Frankenstein kind of haunted levels. Although some would argue more at the point where, they've gone into the sick bay, found that it's just a mess of biological matter and machine parts, and they've actually managed to have a conversation with something rather than someone on the ship in the form of the ship's delightful and charming medical AI. It's a lovely, helpful thing that the crew have just fallen in love with. They're going to adopt it, take it back to the Iskandar, maybe introduce it to Dr. Light and have it on their own ship. We've also gone to the bridge and found out a bit more about what's happened to this ship that has been adrift in the void for about 150 years, and all it did was just miss the planet it was aiming at, and now everything's gone to shit. So we might be blowing this up. We might be serving this up on a platter to the anthropologists. Who knows? Hopefully these three have an idea of what they're going to do. Or they will have an idea of what they're going to do at some point. Find out in this week's exciting session, I guess. Where we left the crew, they were on the bridge, digging through the files, digging through what they can of the AI systems or the automated systems of the ship, and hoping that the captain and the first officer don't come back after Lieutenant Reyes managed to logic the medical AI into taking them away, because they weren't talking. They weren't very helpful, really.
Dr. Sealing has some sort of some sort of definitions of recognizing when people can do their jobs and not, but clearly needs help.
I don't know what you mean. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I have some concerns.
I
Dunno.
100% did not realize until they walked in that they would be cyborgs, and I was like, I don't know what to do.
No, I
Yes,
I
I
thought
got
better.
one of yous.
I know, I thought better of Dr. Sealing. I thought that the medical AI knew what a brain dead cyborg was. Call me naive. I thought it was it. Yeah, I thought the brain dead cyborg knew better.
The brain dead
AI
cyborg doesn't know.
don't know
No,
anything.
yeah,
AI
Dr.
knew
It
better.
doesn't
Sealing
know
thought
anything.
the brain dead cyborg knew better.
I love how quickly you've adopted Dr. Sealing as the name.
They came at the ceiling and are a doctor.
Oh, I'm not sure that Sealing ever went to medical school. Now I want to look at security, Mr. Security, MX Security. Let's not assume.
And okay, so you're on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
I am going to try to find out everything I can about the ship's security system, figure out what it's doing, figure out where it is,
Mm-hmm.
figure out how much it is responding to what we're doing here,
Okay.
and then I will be able to ascertain if that is any kind of a threat, problem, if it's going to send more of the crew after us. And it's no bad thing if I do that while Lieutenant Casey does a deep dive through the ship's records, because then that possibly gives the security system a stimulus to which it can respond, so I can see if it's a problem.
Oh, so
Okay.
yeah, I like that dual-pronged approach of not only will I be potentially unearthing new information, but also I'm distracting it.
So
Actually,
Casey's
really,
the bait.
yeah, distracting is not really what I mean.
It's what I'm hearing. I'm
producing-
hearing we're using Casey as bait.
Yes, that is actually closer to the distracting. Technically, it's producing circumstances which will give me it's testing, but your bait as I observe it. I'm observing it under live conditions. It's just that the live conditions are Casey.
I'm gonna give you this for free, with no role needed. You probably shouldn't call it that to him.
The things I initially said, whilst also being Kath, were Reyes's words.
He has
I
drawn
will- yeah.
a different conclusion, which he is not just a test subject.
He's a distraction.
Yeah.
At which point, if he goes, oh, yes, I can distract it, Reyes will go, yep.
And like he can't read that, so he's like, yes.
Yes, I'll be a useful distraction. Not bait
Either
at all.
Reyes, like, it's unclear if Reyes doesn't get that he doesn't get it, or doesn't care that he doesn't get it.
Fair enough. Okay, so
Especially
Kath,
as I think I've figured out where security lives already, haven't I? It's in that other room.
you've certainly worked out that there's big servers through there. I can't remember. I can't remember if you worked out that that's definitely where security live, but you know, that's where the big server. That's where Big Server lives. I know you hardly know her, but that's where she lives. So yeah, you're digging through that. You're digging through that from the bridge's security.
From the bridge. Reyes doesn't want to have to like poke and start dismantling or doing anything to security unless she has to. So she
Okay.
is primarily monitoring it monitoring it, including the backlogs, which she already took a bit of a look at because we're pretty sure that So
Yeah,
she
you had a look through it and spotted that there was like a spike of activity or something on the log that corresponds with your movements around the ship and when you arrived on it.
Because if security isn't really going to do much, then we can just loot this ship for information and worry about the rest when we have more information. But I'm not going to poke it unless I have to poke it. So yeah, let's see what the bait makes happen.
Okay. Bait, what are you up to? Sorry, Casey, what are you up to?
I am very
How are you distracting?
Oh yeah, it's like no roundabout way of going about it. It's access this directory. When this pathway is cut off, take the next reasonable route. Don't try and outsmart it. Just kind of go basically predict its steps of lockdown and meet those criteria step by step. Because I'm a distraction.
So you're basically just trying to go digging through whatever files you think are most likely to set it off.
Well,
or
I'm not covering my tracks is more like it.
Okay.
So if I can get any information out of this that's useful, even if it's just idea of like crew size and stuff like that, then that'll be cool. But yeah, it's just doing stuff out in the open to go, look at me, I'm in your base.
All your files belong to us.
All your files belong to us.
I suppose I hadn't considered the side effects of if Casey is actively trying to piss off security, but oh well.
I guess Casey's actively trying to piss off security now. Okay.
Distraction.
Piss off security. Give me a piss off security roll then, Casey, which I'm going to say is I'm going to investigation or ops. Willing to hear a pitch for either while I figure this out. It's not a science check because you're not trying to science at this, just digging through the files. So I'm going to say it's not a science check.
Ops being
I'm going to say it's an ops check because you're not actually, because the goal here isn't finding things out. That's a convenient side benefit.
Cool, -1.
Cool. Kath, give us
ops or engineering. I think it's probably ops because I think it's probably software based.
But yeah, especially because what you're doing is monitoring. You're just monitoring rather than actively trying to do out the security system. Correct? Yeah, that's going to be an ops check for me.
+4 on that. Ooh, 6.
Okay, two very different roles here.
Like, what's a bad result for Casey? Like in this context, is it nothing happens, or is it really bad things happen?
You'll find out in about 5 seconds. We'll start with Casey for results.
Yeah.
So you start having a dig through the files. You go through the console that's attached to the captain's chair because you figure that's probably the one that's gonna, if anybody who's not the captain is looking through that, that's gonna piss off security. Be the biggest distraction for security.
Mm-hmm.
So you start having a dig through it and see some very tempting looking file directories that look like they might lead to personal information about the crew. Pretty much as soon as you open that, you're logged out. You have a work around it. Managed to find another way into what looks like it might lead you to the same file. If you go down a couple of steps, you're logged out again. It seems like security is paying attention.
That's good. That is working as intended as far as I'm concerned.
But you don't get to find anything out because security's noticed. Kath, security's noticed. So you manage to get to a point where you've got a fairly good monitor of crew movements around the ship.
How many cyborgs are headed for the bridge?
Just the two. You see that there's some blips in the bridge that match where you are. So security has obviously tracked where you lot are, the four of you that are here. And then you spot two blips that are marked differently to yourselves come out of sickbay and turn up to and walk smartly up to the bridge.
Remind me,
Mm-hmm.
what was the story like? What is it? Why were they in sickbay? Having been in sickbay, is it weird that they came out of sickbay? Can I remember, like, were there ones already on beds which were assembled?
The only one that was in sickbay when you were there.
Yeah.
Well, the only two that were in sickbay when you were there. There was the one that was
Oh, it's
carrying
the fucking
the body.
captain first officer again, isn't it? Probably. Which reported to sickbay to be confirmed that they, I don't know, don't have brains anymore or whatever.
But yes, you see those two blips come out of sickbay and walk up to the bridge.
We've got company, whatever you did, Lieutenant Casey, definitely got security's attention immediately. And two, possibly that captain and first officer, or they who were, are headed right here, sent by security, probably recognizing us / Lieutenant Casey's a security breach.
Casey says, interesting, at the same time as Zal goes, okay, kind of straightens up.
I guess that security is going to be a significant impediment to us trying to find anything out if security responded that immediately to our efforts to try to dig through the databases. So, unless Lieutenant Zal wants all hands on deck, I'm going to get started on trying to figure out how to switch off security.
Yes. It may well be that Lieutenant Zal and I end up in some sort of confrontation. Should that happen, I would like to know as soon as possible your time frame, whether we must withdraw or continue fending them off.
Well, I'm not sure I can call them off. I just might be able to make sure that security doesn't send more.
Yes, but if you are focused on a task that you can achieve in a few minutes, we will cover you. If it's going to take longer than that, we might need to withdraw, is my point.
Okay. I have no idea what this is going to take. I will at least keep monitoring in case they send more. So yeah, Reyes is going to start to do like, right, okay, how do I switch off security, but also keep an eye on making sure we don't get like the entire cyborg crew zerg rushing the bridge.
As if that would happen. Okay, so
I text Linkovich. Dear Linkovich, just one to beat him up. I'm done with this.
What did I do?
So yeah, Kath, give us an engineering check then for while you start having a dig around.
That is another 6.
Cool beans. So, Casey, are you doing anything to help with this, or are you just going, I'm not touching anything, I already brought 2 cyborgs to our door?
Yeah. You don't seem to need the help, do you? And I wouldn't want
Reyes
to
has
offer
not
it.
asked for help.
No.
That's not the same as Casey isn't gonna help you.
No, you misunderstand this entire dynamic. If this was strange and it was a year ago, certainly, but it's not.
Yeah.
This is a
Not.
different game now.
Successfully asserted dominance immediately over the science department. So much that I haven't noticed.
Okay. So you're not digging to anything else at this point. Okay. I would assume, Taladra and Zala are standing a slightly better sort of ready.
Well, we are standing ready for, I think,
Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
a violent situation.
We are going to
Fisticuffs.
end up doing Star Trek paid actor 101 combat against extras.
I might even be about to see if these things are susceptible to being nerve pinched.
Oh, hell yeah. What a shot that would be.
Well, let's find out, because the door slides open. And sure enough, in comes the captain and the first officer.
Of course it was them.
I leave the potential quipping to Zal.
That's fine. And yeah, they are gonna walk basically straight towards whoever's nearest, which I'm gonna assume is Zal and Talandra.
Yep.
So Talandra, you can have the captain because that's how this
Thematically
goes.
appropriate.
Exactly, and Zal, you can handle the first officer. They are gonna walk. They're not making it they're not running at you or anything. They are just walking steadily and purposefully towards you and making a grab for you. Do you do anything as they're coming towards you, or shall we just go straight to fight checks?
No, fight. I know how I'm gonna fight this, but it is fight. I'm not gonna go, hello, we come in peace.
It worked for Casey.
It did.
Yeah, Casey's killed a man already,
Well,
so
Casey killed a man.
Casey
Sam
killed
Casey
a
killed a
whole-
man.
Sam Casey, murderer. Cool. You two make me fight checks then.
Yeah, I guess it would come under fight. Yeah.
At this point, this is for dodging the initial cyborgs trying to get you, so that you're not just grabbed by the shoulders or something. So you've got 2. And that's that one. Salandra, what do you have?
4.
Oh, okay. Zal, first officer, has rolled 6, unfortunately.
Okay.
Salandra, captain's rolled 3. But you're not grabbed. Zal? So, Marie, yours first. The first officer kind of marches up towards you.
His plan was to try and grab arm because he anticipated the grab and pull into a taekwondo flip.
Okay.
So I can see many points of failure on that.
Yeah, there's lots of points of failure on that, and you've probably done quite a few of them. No, it's not that bad. She rolled 3, wasn't it?
I got a
No.
2.
You got 2, so there's 4 difference. Okay. Yeah, so you go to try and engage with the first officer and do that kind of taekwondo flip. They're just not moving, or you can't get the leverage to get the flip in. So you just kind of end up locked in a grapple with them as they've got both hands on your shoulders, gripping quite hard, actually. And they've just got hold of you. Salandra, Captain tries a very similar move that they're not exactly smart things, and tries to make a grab for you. What was your plan for?
If I know Talandra, and I do,
I would hope you do.
She's fought these things before, so she was waiting for the moment that it would make a grab, so that she could do the duck. And then once close to it, would attempt to see if there was enough human or physical
Biological,
biological. Thank you, that's the word. Biological motility in these things that she could
Nerve
biologically short circuit it with
with a nerve pinch. Okay. So yeah, you managed to very easily and duck out of the way and just sort of move so that you're behind and to one side of the captain, ready to nerve pinch it. Reyes, whilst this is happening, you're monitoring security still.
Yeah, like
And
I wanna figure out what it's gonna take. Like I'm not sure I can. I'm not assuming I can remotely shut it down from here, although that would be nice.
Mhm.
But like, definitely want to figure out what it's going to take. Can I do this as a software override, or am I going to need to like, find where it's housed and shoot it?
So yeah, going off the 6 that you've rolled before, you can, now that you've got to cyborgs that you're like 90% confident of being controlled by the security AI, you can trace the signals, kind of like you did before with the one that medical was sending out, and go, yep, that server room is absolutely where the security AI is housed. And you can carry on doing some looking at what access do you have to it from here on the bridge.
Also, the other thing of trying to figure out what else is security controlling, because it's just going to be useful to know if security was always security, or if turning off security might, I don't know, turn off life support, or just that kind of.
Yeah. Are there other systems attached to the same AI?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Especially as I have a really bad feeling that none of this is how this was originally programmed or designed to operate. Hence, Dr. Sealing not recognizing that cyborgs were not people. So yeah, Reyes is sus.
Okay, you can carry on being sus whilst the next round of action happens.
This will take some time.
Yeah. So we'll Casey, you're last in the initiative order here, I guess. Doing anything?
I feel like I should. I'm just
You
not
don't
entirely
have to.
confident what I should do.
You don't have to. It's fine.
No, I'm gonna put Casey in some kind of like passive background role, so I don't need to think about what 2 characters are doing during a fight.
Okie dokie. In that case, we'll go back.
Decision.
No, that's entirely fine. In that case, we'll go back to kind of top of the round. We'll start with Zol. You've been grabbed by a robot.
Don't want it.
What are you doing?
I am going to try and break the grapple.
Okie dokie.
Is the grapple representing like an aspect on Zal that the cyborg?
I suppose it would be, yeah.
It was like a big shift as well. It was like a 4.
Yeah, it was a 4 shift. I don't know if you know.
Which means which means it would have 2 free invocations in anything which it could possibly benefit from grappling. Zal would be a good use.
Which would include breaking the grapple.
Breaking the grapple, or
Zal breaking the grapple.
Yes, yeah, anything to do with that.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, person who knows the rules. Good job, too. That's a garbage roll.
I hope so, because I got a 3.
I've got a 1, but I've got 2 free invocations of things involving grapple.
Do it.
So I think I'm just going to employ both of those.
Fuck me up, fam.
I'm going to fuck you up and get a 5 on that and just spend them. So, talk us through what you're trying to do here. Let's get the narrative flavour going.
If it's turning into a grapple, it's going to be very much like arms on its arms, possibly trying to like get my elbows in to try and force them apart.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of seeking any kind of leverage to try and
just
turn it against
force it apart. You're just trying. You're basically trying to flex it like each of its arms is an ensign, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of, as it's got your shoulders, kind of maneuver your arms up to try and just force its arms off of your shoulders. As you do that, it quite quickly, you've got your hands kind of up about here, and it quite quickly, the hand that's on this shoulder just grabs hold of your wrist. So it's now got hold of you by the wrist and the shoulder, and it's what's it gonna do?
Oh no, they're fast zombies.
Only when they get higher rolls than you. It's going to try and get you slightly more under its control, and try and like almost pin one arm like behind your back, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you got a 3, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, so that's a 2 shift.
Boop.
Thing.
Did I take any shifts of stress from the first round?
I don't know if you. Well, there was a 4 difference.
Not if it was creating the situation.
If it was creating the situation, yeah. And for that, it was just trying to create the situation of I've got hold of this threat, and I will now deal with this threat. So you don't take any from the first one, but take some from this.
Cool.
Talandra, you're trying to nerve pinch this fucker.
Gonna give it a go.
Give us a nerve pinch roll.
I guess I've never done that. So I'm thinking, weirdly thinking fight, just because.
No,
it's about...
I would absolutely agree. It's effectively the nerve pinch is basically flavor on close quarters combat.
Yeah, and she is able to do it because of one of her aspects. So like,
exactly.
I would say that means that if you want to invoke the aspect of Disciple of Surak with a fate point, you could say, because I'm using a Vulcan nerve pinch. Otherwise,
exactly,
it would be, why does Vulcan make punch better?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree.
That was my thinking. So does that mean I still roll up? I roll up +2 because I'm using that, or does that mean I?
Depends how you want to use Disciple of Surak for your fate points. You can either use it for the +2 or decide that you want to re-roll if the dice give you absolute shit.
Yeah, you don't have to spend the fate point.
You don't have to spend the fate point. Like, you might roll absolutely incredible and go, you know what, I'm not going to actually spend the fate point. But if you wanted to invoke it, I would happily let you go, yeah, Disciple of Surak this, because you are Vulcaning the hell out of this problem.
So we got a 3.
Okay, it got a 4.
I think then I will invoke for the +2.
Okay. So yeah, you've got behind it. It tries to kind of move with you so that it can turn around and grab hold of you as well. But
it likely isn't expecting what Talandra does next.
It is not expecting Talandra to grab hold of it from behind, and you can just move with it as well to keep it facing away from you. You go to grab it by the neck. The nerve pinch doesn't nerve pinch it. It does not hit the deck, but you do now have hold of it. And effectively you've taken kind of, in a reverse of what's happening with Zell, you've got it in a grapple where you've got control of it because you've got it held by the scruff of the neck. But the nerve pinch doesn't make it hit the deck. What did you get again? Sorry, 5. Cool. Just mark that up on their stats. Okay, Reyes. Hacky.
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 I'm happy to assume that I'm hacky as.
Sure, but I'm going to give you like bits as we go.
Cool.
Just to kind of keep what you're doing going while the fight's happening. So yeah, you start trying to hack into the security system. It does try and kick you out of a couple of things, but you can kind of see that its attention's occupied, so it's not kicking you out as quickly.
Piss off while she's working as it does that.
Yeah. So you're now kind of getting a little bit more into as much as into the guts of it as you can from the bridge. So you're probably now looking at having gone past the initial like monitoring
Mhm.
bit, starting to look at the actual workings of how does security system do,
What does security?
and what does security system do exactly.
Cool.
Cool. Next round, Zal. It's got a hold of you by the wrist. It's got a hold of you by the shoulder.
Wrist, shoulder. All right. I am going to try and get my free arm up against its neck and try to overbalance it backwards.
Okay.
I am not attempting to fight necessarily. I'm trying to create an advantage. I imagine this would probably be athletics.
Yeah, I would say you can athletics this, because you are trying to just raw strength it rather than actually fight the robot zombie.
Well, if it's raw strength itself, that would be physique.
I
If
suppose,
you're
yeah.
trying to harm it, it is fight. Remember, fight is just
Fight is that, but it's yeah.
I'm trying to create an advantage that will do me better next round. So,
Mhm.
I mean,
so
if
then physique would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm happy for you to pick either
Or
of athletics.
athletics.
Yeah, pick either of athletics or physique, whichever one
no,
you want.
I think raw strength plus I've got +5 in physique.
Yeah, like when I say you pick whichever one you want, I'm assuming that means you're going to pick whichever's the highest. 'Cause
I got a 6.
I got a 7.
Jesus Christ, this thing's gonna murder me.
I was like, oh shit, he's dead.
I'm gonna
And then you roll
die.
physique and it's like, oh no, he's not as dead, it's fine.
Traditionally, second missions for chiefs of security against cyborgs do not go well.
It's true. The Iskandar has a proud tradition to uphold here. Okay.
I fail by 1 and die.
Like, I don't know if you want to do anything fate pointy with that.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look at your sheet.
The problem is Zal's combat aspects are all about him like not fighting.
Also, like, you would spend a fate point to be able to create an aspect with a free invocation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
so
unless
it's spending a fate point now to get something that you could spend later. Like that doesn't seem
yes,
unreasonable to me.
You could, but to be fair, if you can probably justify it in this, you can if you could justify it to create the combat advantage, you can probably justify it to create the combat re-roll or thing later.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just take the L on this one.
Okay, you just take the hit on it. Yeah, so you try to kind of twist your arm out of the grapple that it's got your wrist in to then shove your arm up against it. You try to move your arm kind of out the grip, but it just tightens so that you don't have the leverage to get yourself out. So it just pins that left arm just that little bit more, and starts trying to, like, the hand that's on your right shoulder kind of moves down to the upper arm so that it can start trying to pin that arm as well.
Miserable.
Talandra, you've got a hold of the cyborg zombie from behind.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it now.
But you've got one.
Apologize and leave.
Talandra's not a fighter, so like she gambled on something when really she should have just shot it.
Hold it in place and shoot.
Yeah, like that's an option available.
American
to you.
History X curb stomp this cyborg Vulcan.
I mean, she'll stun it.
Gangland's execution.
You just go and cap it. Is that what we're doing here?
She'll stun it.
Okay. I'm assuming by that you do mean that you are phasering it from the back, yeah?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
That's another 3.
It's a 7 on this one, unfortunately. The dice rolled well.
Sometimes NPCs be like that.
Yeah, sometimes NPCs be like that. Okay, so you've got hold of it with one hand. You go to bring out your phaser. As you go to bring out your phaser, it kind of squirms out of your grip and goes back to trying to make a grab at you. I think with that 4 difference, it would probably actually get hold of you. Looking to see if there's anything in the rules that said that's not how that would work.
Is this on the? Has it made a counter attack, or is this just that Talandra has? It is attacking.
So this is more in response to Talandra going to try and shoot it in the head.
I slightly missed. Is this a separate roll, or is this it defending against Talandra's roll?
Oh no, this is with the 4 difference on the defense. So
on the defense doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't make any difference.
It's just defenses. Yeah. It would have to be trying to do something to hurt Talandra or to create an aspect against Talandra. Otherwise, it's just going pissed off.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, it'll just kind of get out of the grip and kind of maybe slap your hand away that's got the phaser in it, but you don't drop the phaser or anything. It just kind of shoves the hand a bit. Rhea's over in Hacky Corner. Now that you're getting a bit more of a look at the systems, you can see that most of the actual to get proper access to the security system, you're not going to be able to do that from the bridge. Unfortunately, you are going to have to go to security server room. But it does look like you could software it off rather than just shoot it.
Cool.
If you wanted to go down that route instead of just blowing it up.
That's for preferable. I think Reyes will pipe up and go, I know where to turn security off from. It's the room over there. Once
I'd
you're
love
done,
that.
Once you're done, can I help?
Turn it off.
Okay, I guess we're up, Casey. Splitting the party. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Fair enough. Casey, are you doing anything now? Or are you just...
Time to go to security.
Time to go to security. Okay.
Listen, this was the security chief's assessment. I don't fucking know.
Okay. Right. Oh well. So we'll move around then. Zol. It's trying to put both your arms behind your back. You're not having a great day here.
No.
What we're doing?
I think it's kind of like now on I don't think I've got many more rounds of I can set up an advantage to take advantage on later on. Hold on. We can become famous.
Or we could not. Kill it!
Big follows. Wow.
Big follows, no whammies. Ban.
Phil really has inherited the Worf effect from
yeah.
Van. Like it's a powerful truth of dice.
All right.
The dice know.
Yeah. It's going to be a straight up and down fight. I can't. I've got maybe a round or 2 before I am dead. So I've just got to try and defeat it.
Okay. Well, I've just rolled the dice, so you give me yours.
Jesus fucking Christ in heaven. 2.
It critical failed.
Oh hell yeah! I win now. I own the grapple.
It gets a -1, but it's a 1 and a 6.
Its mother, and I make it explain what a shame it has brought to its family.
Okay. But in order to take it home to its mother and explain how the many myriad ways in which it has brought shame on its family, what's the first step? What are you doing here? You have an advantage of 3 over this.
I think it's like it is getting a hold of me quite viciously. I've not been able to like pull it to imbalance it, and so given that it's a raw fight check, it's just going to be pushing it. Like imagine a football scrum. Say football, American football, or rugby scrum, which I am winning.
Superior sport.
Yeah. I am winning a scrum against a single person. I'm going to slam it against the nearest wall or console.
Okay. Yeah, I'm picturing exactly the sort of thing. So you're going to Hamish Watson the shit out of this thing and just tackle it into a wall.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I've broken cats.
I just wasn't expecting that.
Hamish Watson just runs into people head first, like repeatedly. It's really funny. But yeah, okay, so yeah, you can absolutely like, as much as it's got hold of you, you kind of, it is basically a rugby tackle that you go for here, like no hands, just crouch and shoulder barge it into the wall.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that breaks its hold on one of, on your left, where it was trying to grab hold of your wrist.
Hell yeah.
You now have your left arm free. Talandra.
Hello.
You've just tried to cap it, but it moved.
Yeah. So I reckon it looks like it's coming back for another attack. Right?
Yeah. It's going to come and make another lunge at you here.
I think perhaps then Talandra might push her luck on a move that she's tried and that worked before, which is she's gonna like prepare for it to grab her, and then I think maybe go for the flip instead.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I think we'll still be fighting, but it just involves the timing.
It's still a fight check, but yeah, the flavour is important.
Oh.
I like such.
5. That's a +5.
It's only on a +1. So yeah, you flip that thing. So it goes to make a lunge for you. Same as it did before. Both hands out, go for your shoulders. You manage to do essentially what Zal failed to do. You kind of, as it goes, you get hold of one of its arms, hook one leg behind it, and flip it onto the floor. And it lands hard, like face first, into one of the consoles. There's a slightly unsettlingly wet sound when it hits the console, like, because it's one of the skin fleshy bits of the face that hits the console.
Talandra does not respond, even though that sucks and is horrifying, and I hate it.
Yeah, it makes a disconcerting squelch. But yeah, you've managed to trip it and have it smash its face into the console. Meanwhile, the other half of the party.
This is fine. We've got to get out of here, into this other room, and deactivate all of these systems so that we don't get more of these horrifying cyborgs.
Yes.
And we can do this together.
Team to do it. Yes.
We are the best team to do this.
We're the best team.
Yep.
We're the smartest minds and most threatening minds of our generation.
Okay.
So let's shimmy past this situation and bust down the next door. And by bust, I mean hack open the next door.
Yeah, because it's this next door is not going to be your friend. So am I going to make you roll to get past them? Yes, but it's not going to be a high
Athletics?
Yeah, give us an athletics roll and just don't fuck it up.
Okay. Flat nothing, so that's a 2.
That's fine. Whereas
Fucking
you
hell.
make it past, no problem. Don't trip over anything.
4.
Yeah, you're fine. You slip past this horrible zombie fight. Go out into the next room, into the mess hall, and you can start trying to hack open the door into the security servers.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's only. Sorry, I was just trying to think of ways of being efficient in this, but I really can't think of any way for this to be a 2-man job. Like, it's one door panel.
It's one door panel, unless you wanted to have Casey start trying to like work out if there's any wires that could be cut or something, but that's not.
He's literally keeping watch as well.
Yeah. Keeping watch for the moment. We'll have. Reyes will just say keep watch while I get this,
Okay.
and we'll try to bust the door.
Okay. Make us an engineering check. Casey, make me a notice check for keeping watch.
It's like, oh, that's not bad. That's a 6.
Yeah. So the door puts up. Oh, actually, no.
Oh, it's gonna roll against me.
It's going to start rolling
Mad.
against you now. You've pissed it off. Yeah, it only gets 5. So it's difficult. It takes a lot for you to try and get this door open. It is trying to shut down every pathway that it can. But you do manage to eventually get the door to go. But even as you've got it open, it is still trying to shut down those pathways, close those doors.
Okay. Well, we'll duck inside. There's no bad possible outcomes of trapping ourselves in the room of the beating heart of security.
Casey, how's your notice check done?
0.
Everything's fine.
You can dive in through the security server door after Reyes.
There's no troubles.
And
The
those
good news
doors...
is we still have no reason to think that they have the capacity to block our transporters. It's not like you'd have special shielding around this kind of room.
No, why would you? Why would you? Zal, back on the bridge. You've rugby tackled this thing into a console. It staggers to its feet to make another go for you. What are you doing?
I'm going to try to sweep its legs out from under it. With
Okay.
a low kick.
Okie dokie. 7.
Don't want to talk about it.
What do you get, Michael? How wolfed is Zal?
I got 0.
Oh shit!
Do you have anything you could tag?
Do you
to
want?
reroll?
Yeah. Do you want to re-roll that because that's real bad.
I don't think you've respected it. You talked about embarrassing it in front
yeah.
of its mother.
I don't respect it.
So
I
we're
did
supposed to-
throw the first punch.
You did.
This is nothing to do with pride.
Pride go.
Expert
a
at
little bit to
diffusing
do with
tension.
pride.
I guess. Yeah, like expert at diffusing tension is the one that jumps out as
I
being
mean,
the best one you could try.
It can't be to do with pride because the other person there is Talandra, who is incapable of judging him.
I must restore my honor one deed at a time. Has a similar thing to the pride. If you're embarrassing yourself now.
Listen, yeah. I've got to restore my honor one deed at a time, and it doesn't begin here.
With
Getting
being
karate
embarrassed.
chopped by zombies to death.
You cannot restore your honor one deed at a time if this is where you fucking die.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I'm gonna
You
spend
don't have
that
any honor
facey-
to. You don't have any honor to restore if this robo zombie curb stomps you. What do you?
Why have
what
you
do you
got
get now?
2 fate points, you idiot? That should have
I
been
don't know
3.
why you got two.
Yeah,
two fate
I think
points,
I
you
spent
idiot.
one and then never restored it. Oh, much better. That
We got-
is 7. We match.
We match. Okay. You made the attack last time, so it's making the attack this time round. So
If it's that's unfortunate. The attacker in a match success,
yeah,
the
it gets
attacker gains a free boost.
That's fine.
yeah.
So
I've
nothing
rough
happens.
yeah. Like whilst the way we're doing it is just rolling against
Mhm.
each other. It's like roughly keeping track of alternating.
Yeah.
And I think what we're on is its attack because you just rugby tackled it into
Yes.
a wall.
Yeah, I trust you.
Yep.
So Zal doesn't take damage, but
No.
it has a boost in combat against Zal.
It'll have a boost in combat against Zal. I'm going to say it doesn't get hold of you this time or anything like that. But what it does manage to do is it is that staggering to its feet after it's been smashed into the console. The bit of its face that's smashed into the console is a horrible mess. Like there is just a massive like gash across its cheek there, and you can see little bits of twitching robotics and twitching servos behind where the skin was, or behind where some of the skin was. Some of the skin just sort of oozes slightly. But it gets to its feet and kind of steadies itself, braces itself for when it's next gonna make an attack or respond to yours.
Cool.
Talandra,
I'm gonna shoot it.
cool, shoot it.
Sorry, Zal. But
Which one are you
Zal's.
shooting, by the way? Yours or Zal's?
Zal's.
Okay.
Mine is out of commission at the moment.
You tripped it up.
Yeah, as in it's flipped, as in it's got to get back up. Like,
Yes. Okay.
so, I am taking advantage of the beats of the fight to shoot the one that
To
doesn't
shoot it.
know the one that doesn't know it's fighting me.
Yeah. Legit.
Oh, Talandra.
That's a
wow.
spin-off that we're planning.
Oh,
Oh,
Talandra.
Delandra.
Oh well, it's a critical success. So
Okay.
that's a +6.
Well, it got a 5. So, and it's only got the advantage for when it's trying to defend against Zal.
Yep, that's my thinking.
So you shoot it. It hits the deck like a sack of spuds. Down it goes.
That's
Like it braces itself. You're there ready to rumble. Talandra shoots it, and it just hits the floor immediately, crumples down to the ground.
just like a jab in the air,
You're
like a victory
come
taunt.
on. Oh no, a victory taunt after it's hit the floor. Okay.
Yeah.
No, there's like, come on. Oh. Yeah, so that one is down. The one that you flipped, Talandra, it's going to stagger to its feet after you quite thoroughly flipped it over.
I did do that.
You did do that thing. It kind of almost kind of cracks its shoulders a bit. You hear kind of mechanical clunking noises as it straightens itself, and then it just, at this point, it's not actually making a grab for you. It's more just kind of swinging wildly as if it wants to just like clock you up the side of the head. So make me a roll to not be hit in the head by a zombie, I guess.
Would that be fight? Would that be athletics?
It's still fight, I think, because it's still engaging in a fight with you.
Fair. That's a +3.
It got +4. So yeah, it will kind of clip you in the jaw. It's not a hard hit. It wasn't a
Enough.
very controlled, but it's enough that contact has been made.
And it's enough that the makeup artists get to do the green Vulcan
Yeah, they get to crack out the green bruise wheel for Vulcans.
the green bruise wheel, the slight split lip with the green, and then they're just like, see? Alien.
Look, see? Green blood. Yeah. So yeah, you've got that just very slight split lip. And just a bit of a green bruise there.
It's a good look. It's a sexy look.
I'm gonna finish up on the bridge first, if that's okay. And then we'll move to the action in the server room, because the bridge looks like it's almost done. And then the server room can be one kind of fluent scene.
After all, this is happening like round by round, so
Yeah. This
Well,
is happening. This is happening round by round, so we could finish up the initiative order on the bridge and then move to the server room.
and we'll
I think.
catch up with them eventually.
We'll catch up. Zal, Talandra, you go down to the server room in a couple of rounds' time. You just find bits. There's not even enough to identify which bits were from Reyes and which bits were from Casey.
Linkovich, 2 to beam up.
Yeah, the usual routine. It's the way it goes. No, okay. Zal, Talandra's just been smacked in the face by a zombie.
Well, I should return the favor, and I should shoot.
What,
this
smack Talandra
zombie.
in the face?
Yeah.
Okay, it's PvP
give
time.
her a Glasgow kiss. No, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay.
I'm bad at shoot though, so this will be interesting.
You don't have to shoot it. You can deck it.
Actually, I'm equal on shoot and deck, so.
All right then.
Fucking Jesus Zero. God
Three.
fucking damn it. I choose not to act. I'm too impressed with her shot. I crawl into an air duct and get spaced and die.
Cool. So Zal's dead.
Sal's dead. So is my next character. He's already dead.
Yeah, that's how badly you've lost this. No, so you bring up your phaser to shoot at the remaining cyborg. Well, I'm going to say you do that at about the same time as it's getting to its feet and taking the swing at Talandra, so trying to get an aim on it such that you will definitely hit it and not Talandra is just too difficult for you to do, so you don't take the shot at this point.
Yep, cool.
Talandra, you've just been hit in the face by a zombie. What do you do?
I guess I'm gonna stun it as well. Like I've
Okay.
got start as you mean to go on, to be honest.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a +4.
That is only a +2 from the cyborg.
Talandra, I'm sure Talandra has a history of kill stealing, but she makes it look good. So
She does. So, Izzy, do you want to give me the flavour on how you make this look that good? After Zal's trying to get the shot in, decides that he can't get the shot in without possibly risking hitting you. The zombie's looking at you.
I think Talandra will take it as a moment of kind of friendship. I'm gonna twist it back so that Zal doesn't feel super bad. Is that Zal's trying to get a shot on, but because it's punched at Talandra and it's kind of, they're moving in the sense that it's clear that he's trying not to shoot Talandra. Talandra will sort of incline her head, do a full step back away from the captain, and then just sort of point blank shoot with a phaser set to stun, just because it's still going to keep grabbing at her and she's finally got a clean shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you point blank shoot it dead center of the chest and it crumples to the floor.
And sort of, I think without breaking her movement, she turns and says, "Thank you, Lieutenant. Shall we?"
Yes, let's.
And they jog out of the door, ready to eventually meet up with Reyes and Casey. Speaking of
Reyes and Casey, we've got a couple of rounds before Zal and Talandra catch up with you, although we're going to kind of drop out of rounds for a bit for the moment. So you two enter the server room. It looks like a fairly standard server room. There are a lot of banks of computers, hardware, whirring away in the background. It's quite dimly lit in here, same as it's been throughout most of the ship, to be honest. And there are a couple of consoles where you could have access points.
Great.
But it's quite quiet in here for now. Like, things are still wearing away, but
like, I'm definitely not talking, and I'm definitely not going to try to talk to security, because that's just inviting a whole Hal kind of situation right now. So Reyes is going to look to Casey and go, right, if you start to monitor everything that's going on from the security, it's output everything, so you can keep an eye on if they try to send anything more to us, and also help keep me abreast of if security is trying to counter anything. And I will see about trying to shut this system down.
Yes, Lieutenant.
What? I'm going to do that. What I'm hoping is that Casey can create an aspect really well with his many skills to assist me, so that we can do this really quickly, because I don't know that the fight in the next room is over, and also I'm afraid of more cyborgs.
Understandable, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so the way that I think I'm going to run you trying to shut the security system down is it is going to be like a fight again, but with engineering instead of fight.
Boom!
Nerd fight!
That's how we like it. We're the nerds.
The nerds get to nerd fight.
The jocks can fight the cyborgs.
So, yeah, Casey, you'll be able to provide assistance, but since Reyes is the one doing the main hacking, that's going to be where the damage output is coming from, effectively, for trying to shut this goddamn security system down.
I get you completely.
So, you two pitch up at a console each, boot it up, and start trying to turn off the security system. Casey, we'll start with you. What do we do for trying to create an early advantage?
I imagine, because of the technical nature of this will probably be an engineering check.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of engineering checks.
Yeah, it is.
You're trying to hack.
I know, like, you learning from my previous failures. I know, like, the telltale sign of when it's about to shut down a system. I know the pathways that it will go to. I predicted its operating procedure and was able to basically match it. And so now I'm basically going to try and blow this wide open by just scattershotting it.
Okay, so you're going to try and basically just send its attention in as many different directions as possible to stop it focusing in on whatever Reyes is doing.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And I got a 7.
It also got a 7.
No, I'm the greatest man of my generation.
Okay.
I'm going to tag a fate point and get +2 on that.
Cool. Yeah. So you can create the event.
I will say either Casey is trying to hurt it, in which case it gets to roll defense, or Casey is just creating an aspect which it doesn't get to roll in defense against.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just creating a situational aspect which anyone could use, but someone would need to still tag it to use it.
Okay,
So,
in that case, ignore the roll, and we'll just have it as
7,
fuck.
which is fucking good, which is...
Seven was the...
was his
Oh,
result.
was it for his result? Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was also mine.
Looks- Succeed with style, which is actually just with 2 creating, which is just with 2 free invocations. So theoretically, so he would basically have created the aspect of distracted
security system,
which I could do.
Which you can then use. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
In lieu of fate points.
Cool. We will do that.
Whole way of us not having to both have separate initiative-y things.
Yeah. Thanks, person who knows the rules.
I love the way fate can be used to do that, to go like, obviously this is the engineering combat, but theoretically it could be used so an engineer can go, I'm gonna do the thing that helps someone else. I'm buffing you, take a buff.
Yeah. Here's your buff, etc. Yes. So yes, you scatter into the file directories of this whole ship system. Just start opening random folders left, right, and center, jumping about all over the place. As soon as you get shut off in one, you're already trying to open something else, and you create the aspect distracted security system, which Reyes or yourself, if you want to keep, if one's still about next round, can use for trying to hack into the system.
I don't like this as a fight because that suggests security's going to do something to us.
What do you mean? Reyes, you're up.
Right.
Now it's rolling against you.
Yeah, now it's
Because
rolling
now
against me.
now this is the actual, like.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be starting to shut down bit by bit is probably going to be the best way to do it, rather than trying to get a knockout blow. And also it better represents the nature of the system as well.
Yeah.
So starting to shut down its access to different things. Whatever is easiest first.
For you to get to first. That's fair enough.
So as per your direction. So engineering check. Dice. So that is a 7.
It has rolled garbage. That is a +2 from it.
Because theoretically I can keep getting. No, I'm going to spend 1 in case it does something. I'm only going to spend 1 of those distracted free invocations.
Yep.
And if all that you've done is spook me OC, then I'll take that.
What do you mean?
So that will be a 9. So Reyes succeeds with a 7 shift.
Yep.
Against security.
Fuck it. Let me write this down on paper. I'm also going to go put a light on because it's getting a little dark in here. Which isn't what the security system says, even though that might be kind of appropriate.
It's going dark. As the nerds get off to a better start. Well, actually, I was going to say better start than the jocks, but that's pretty disrespectful of Talandra's pretty resounding success in the fight.
Yeah. So was succeed by 7.
Yeah, succeed by 7.
Succeed by 7. Okay. So you get in with relative ease, as the security system is very busy between what's happening with what Casey's doing, and this is still at the tail end of the fight on the bridge as well. Cool. You can see from what you're looking at that there's still blips on the bridge of crew members who have been sent out to there that are still going. But
wait, sorry, there are blips of other crew members?
No. The original 2. There are not more on the bridge. So yeah, you managed to very, very easily slip into the systems. Like, it still tries to fight back a bit here. Like, it's not a total walkover. But you managed to get in and just start shutting down things as and when you find them. So the first thing that you managed to get hold of to actually properly shut down is basically its camera network.
Nice. Can I tell? Because again, I'm curious on how these systems have come about. Can I tell how much of this is like what it was originally designed to do? Or can I tell if any way in which this AI has exceeded its initial programming? Is that something, or is that just something I'd like to keep an eye on as I go through it, if not?
For say that's something you can keep an eye on for now. From what you've got at the moment, though, what you do manage to see is that it looks like the security system doesn't have control over things like life support,
Good.
or engines or any of the other things. It is fairly straightforward in its remit of keeping ships safe and secure and making sure nothing bad happens to crew, except in the medical sense, in which case you get the other AI to do it.
It can't see us anymore. I mean, it'll know that we're here, but it can't. I've turned the camera systems off.
Yeah, it no longer has visuals on you, so it's got to sense you basically by other means. Like when you open a door and you move
Right,
through
okay.
it.
Sense? Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's now using its senses of smell and touch to
Yeah,
find out where you
I
are.
don't fucking know.
Casey.
I only used one of those aspects because I was spooked.
Yeah, that's fair. I think all I really need to do is maintain this at the moment. Like,
Okay, so you're going to try and keep it distracted.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So yeah, you carry on exactly as you were doing before, opening up as many pathways as possible, trying to keep the security system as busy as you possibly can. You did it. Roll first, actually.
Obviously, it is the GM's discretion as to whether or not someone's blag to create an aspect is good enough. So if the GM wants to think that security might be getting wise, that is down to the GM.
It is absolutely down to the GM.
My roll is 5.
Okay. What's that?
Which would be another 2 for you, which would
That'd be
again
another
be,
2.
yeah. Essentially,
it's
I think which would sort of replace it rather than
Yeah. So it's
one,
replaced. You're not going to be stacking these up because you're now kind of you've moved on from having that block of distractions.
Mhm.
Now we have a new shiny block of distractions instead.
Yeah, like in the fiction of the scene, I imagine like Casey's kind of enjoying himself. Like this has become a game of trying to outsmart it. Like it's going, oh, security problems over here, and oh no, wouldn't it be a shame if there was a random diagnostic on the thrusters right now? Oopsie daisy, there goes a diagnostic.
Is he vocalizing like this?
I think so.
Okay. I think
Okay.
Reyes gives like a sort of cynical cackle probably at that. Not cynical at him, not like mocking him for it, but hers is more of the she's not lit full on cackling in the die security die, but it's much more in that kind of oeuvre as she's like switching
Oh
things
no!
up.
Oh no! Oh no! Their friendship begins. Oh
Yeah.
no! I support it so much.
It's the best way to become friends. It's by trying to hack your way into an AI. So as you're opening up these pathways and having far too much fun, really, in doing this, you notice that there has been another alert triggered, or as you're going through it, security has noticed where you two are, and you see 2 blips coming out of cold storage and heading your way.
So yeah, like Casey makes that like.
So that's another thing that the security's distracted by because it's now got these 2 to control.
Oh yeah, that's super. Like he hears Reyes laugh, he looks at her, and like he's laughing too, and he turns his head back to the console, and there's 2 new blips, and it's like, ha! Reyes,
Yeah.
we got incoming.
Okay, how far?
How far, GM?
They've only just appeared on the radar down in cold storage, so you've probably got not very long. Like they are on the move, but you've got a minute or 2 before they are outside the door.
Cold storage, 2 minutes.
Okay.
It stops being fun.
It's This got real.
Reyes.
I'd like to kill this thing as quickly as possible then.
Okay, try to kill this thing as quickly as possible then.
That is a +3 on the dice. Thank you, dice. So that is an 8.
That's a 0 from security.
I would like to blow both of these things and knock that up to a 12 because I don't
Ooh.
want more cyborgs coming to me.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. So yeah, you hack into yet more systems, and at this point what you're doing is basically just the software equivalent of cutting all the goddamn wires. Like, if it can be deleted, it's getting deleted. If you can kind of trap it in its own loops so that those systems aren't responding to anything, you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything and everything you can do to block off every single security system in this AI, you use. And one by one, you hear the hard drives and the servers whir and then stop. One by one, until all of them that are in here are off.
Okay. I think I got it. Well, I think I've got maybe, with a minute to spare, so come here.
Oh. To the high five.
Right, let's run for our lives.
Okay.
I want to run back to the jocks.
Yeah, you open the door, which now has no resistance at all. Pretty much at about the same point, Talandra, Zal, you've left the bridge, and you run into the mess hall. At about the same point as you run into the mess hall, the door down to what you assume is cold storage opens, and 2 cyborgs walk in.
Okay.
Before you've even got the shot off, they freeze.
To be
And are
honest,
just stood in the doorway.
Talandra isn't
Like,
a shoot first type, so I imagine she draws, she waits, they stop, she's like, huh.
There's a beat. You're walking over to them to kind of go, hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anybody home?
Yeah. I'm Karis Zal.
Singular you then.
Zal is completely welcome to.
I'm a badass
Zal walks
motherfucker.
over.
I'm gonna be like, hello.
No response.
I take it, therefore, congratulations, Iron Order Lieutenant.
Yeah, this one. Was
As
really
you say
gonna
that, the door to the server room opens, and out come Reyes and Casey.
Hello.
Yeah, they were for us. We've switched off security. Oh, they're not doing anything.
They appear to have stopped in their tracks.
Also, security did actually have a more direct link, and they really weren't capable of any independent thought or function. So they were actually just appendages of security, which is weird that the Doctor systems couldn't recognize that.
Have we destroyed the Doctor?
No, I didn't touch. To my knowledge, have I touched the Doctor?
No.
I imagine the Doctor did not have access to the security servers, therefore had no knowledge of exactly how in deep it went.
That seems likely. They seem completely separate systems.
That is
But-
correct.
Whoa, yes. Thank
What
you,
have you
Doctor.
done?
What do you think I've done?
Well, the group members do not appear to be responding. Though I thought they were under the control of security. Why have they stopped?
I'm afraid, Doctor, that the crew of your vessel are dead. And have
No.
been for some time.
The crew of this vessel still function. I've maintained the crew of this vessel.
Define function, Doctor.
They are still able to operate this ship.
It seems, Doctor, that they are able to operate only under the direct control of security.
Incorrect.
And yet,
Why do you say incorrect?
I am also able to direct members of crew if there are medical emergencies.
But don't.
It appears there is a medical emergency on the bridge. I will send 2 crew to retrieve the crew that need to be taken to sickbay. And at that point, the 2 cyborgs that have walked in were back to life. And start walking past you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting out of the way anyway. Is the Doctor just going to keep on maintaining the corpses of the crew?
seems so.
Doctor,
Yes.
define being alive.
Oh, fuck me.
My function has been to preserve the life of the crew, to keep them functional, operating.
But not alive?
Do they not possess life? They still move, they still act.
Do they recreate, breathe, respirate? I don't remember the.
Doctor, is the ship alive?
Largely, no, they do not recreate or respirate, but that's mostly because they're in cryo storage.
Are those that are not in cryostorage capable of higher brain function? Unaided.
The crew that are not in cryo storage are still able to carry out their roles on the ship.
This was not my question, Doctor.
The crew that are not in cryo storage are still able to carry out their role on the ship.
Interesting. Doctor, who programmed you with that definition of with that level of functional requirement from the crew?
That was my programming when I was installed on the ship. My function is to preserve the crew.
When were you installed on the ship?
I was installed on the ship before it launched.
Okay.
Do you know how long ago that was?
Date of installation, and it gives you a date. Time since installation, 152 years.
152 years. And how long is the average life expectancy of the species aboard this vessel, Doctor?
Average life expectancy, 90 years. However, with cryostorage, that was expected to be longer.
Quick question. Considering we saw like the launch thing, and 152 is really low, did we get a date, like according to their calendar? Like, do we have an idea of the launch date compared to what the Doctor just said?
Yeah, so like that's probably about a year before the launch date.
Oh, cool,
So
cool.
yeah.
It matches up. That's fine.
It matches up.
The Doctor was probably originally came with the ship.
Yeah. The Doctor came with the ship and was not installed, whilst it was still in the system or just before everybody went to cryosleep, but while it was still in space. No, all the data that's given is before the ship took off.
Doctor, while we know very little about your species, it seems that although You must have been programmed with a definition of physical functioning without... I would urge you to scrub your definitions for your people's definitions of experience, cognition, perception, self-awareness, and ask, are any of those things present in the crew as they currently exist?
The crew are in cryostorage. It would be difficult for them to have higher brain functions presently.
There are 2 members of the crew not in cryo storage. Examine them.
The
Maybe
two
we should-
members of crew not in cryostorage are able to carry out their function on this ship.
Doctor, that was not my request.
I have maintained the crew of this ship. I've preserved their function.
Commander, it's a befuddled bit of software. I suggest maybe we take a look at cryostorage ourselves, see if we can actually find any who are still in functioning, alive or capable of being resuscitated. But otherwise, I'm not sure the doctor's going to be much of an impediment for us going forward. And if it is, I can probably also still...
As it stands at the moment, it'll be better once we have made our discoveries to allow others to talk with the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, with your permission, we will do an inspection of the cryo storage facilities to help.
Of course.
Now we know which way it is.
And as you do this, the door to the bridge opens again, and through come the 2 the 2 cyborgs, carrying the 2 that you shot or threw into walls and consoles.
Oh, excuse me, don't mind us.
Don't mind us. And in they go to sickbay. They don't do anything about you. So off to cryo storage. Okay.
Confirm that they're all fucking dead. But clearly, Dr. Sealing is not allowed to make that assessment of their own cryo storage facilities. Also, we might be able to find out what went wrong.
Dr. Sealing has been paid off by Big Cryo.
I think since it's getting for about 9:30, that feels like a good point to take a break before you go and investigate cryo as well.
Hell yeah.
Yes. We hate it.
You don't know that you hate it. You've not seen it yet.
I
It
would
might
like-
be,
might love cryo.
I would like
it
to
might be
officially say
sunshine, rainbows and lollipops.
I don't want any of the lollipops
Oh.
that have been in cryo.
We've just got to be thorough
But
and be real
you'll
sure that
get
they are
there.
totally dead.
You'll get there and you'll find that the medical has made you all a lovely cake.
Oh, we don't want it. We don't want the GLaDOS
This
cake.
cake is great. It's so delicious and moist.
No.
No.
So, but whilst Dr. Sealing quickly puts the finishing touches on this cake, we will take a short break. So we'll be back in about 15-20 minutes, 1:45, 10:45.
Yeah.
Aim for 1:45, probably be back 10:45.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye. What up? Welcome back to session 3 of episode 13 of Star Trek Iskandar, Lonely Sea and Sky. I hope you've had a good break. I've got tea. and the crew have got a lovely, lovely part of the ship to explore. Gonna be great.
We're just going to
So,
find a lot of dead people, but we really need to do something.
are you?
with it.
You don't know that.
We don't
You
know
don't.
that.
You have no idea what you're gonna find in cryo storage. It could be anything. It might not even be there.
That's true. That's true.
So, off we go. Are you being at all cautious, or are you
Yes.
just?
Or at the very least, I'm going in the middle. What y'all are doing?
What about the other three?
I think it is indicative that Talandra is concerned for security because she's letting Zal go first on this one. Because she thinks now the time for talking has unfortunately come to a close. Like. But also, she isn't worried because she also thinks that Reyes has pretty much neutralized our big threat. But,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go through. Going through to cryo storage is kind of there's two sets of doors. There's one initially off of the mess hall. It's a bit of a corridor, and then there's another set at the end. Like at this point, you don't even really need to get Reyes to open the doors because the security system is just not there now. So you go to the end of the corridor and you open the door into cryo storage. Now, you all thought the sickbay was a bad time. And peg that at being about 75% Frankenstein. This probably gets more to about 90% Frankenstein. It's not got the lab vibe.
There is a
but-
literal Frankenstein. Bolt
No,
in
that-
neck.
That would be 100% Frankenstein, Michael. We're not there yet. We're at 90% Frankenstein. Unsurprisingly, it is cold in here. The air smells
Formaldehyde.
Yes. There's a kind of-
That wasn't meant to be taken. That wasn't meant to be correct.
Unfortunately, it is. Like, it's not exactly formaldehyde, but it's got that kind of like chemically smell. Some kind of fluid that you would assume is preservative, or the fluid that was in the cryo chambers. Arrayed around the walls in kind of upright pods. Are these kind of upright pods? Most of them filled with this kind of blue liquid. It's kind of semi-opaque, but you can see behind it a person-shaped shadow, suggesting that there's a person inside each of these pods. Not all the pods are full of this liquid. Some of them are partially full rather than completely full. And in those, you can see the top half of, or the head of, another member of the crew. Each of these crew members that you can see are in a similar condition to the crew members you've already met. And counting up the number of pods, roughly, you'd say there was probably about 100, 120 crew members, certainly 100 to 120 pods lining the walls of this room. It's quite a large room to be able to hold that many people.
Guess I pull out my tricorder and head for one of the full pod. Yeah, head for one of the full pods and scan and try to, especially as I have studied up close the cyborg ones, what is the condition of anyone in one of the full pods?
Mhm. Do I want to make you make a check for it or not? Make us a quick investigate check.
Just
Yeah, find things out for me.
8.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say investigate check, but just don't fuck it up. But yeah, okay.
I
You
got a
find
5
out-
and a 1. Like,
Wow. Okay, yeah, you find out all the things. You walk up to one of these pods, kind of the nearest one to the door that you've just come through. That seems like it's one of the fuller pods of this liquid, and you make your scans. First thing you notice is that whilst the room feels cold, you'd expect the inside of the pod to be a lot colder if it was proper cryo storage, or if it was still fully functioning cryo storage. It is still cold, but it's not like body preserving temperatures anymore. It's more like it's just in the fridge rather than the freezer. The crew member that's inside, as this is one of the fuller pods, there's still the reading. You still find that there are cyborg parts under there. You get the kind of the readings of machinery, of metal in there. Not as much as on others. Certainly not as much as there has been on some of the crew members that you've seen. But they are still there. And in terms of a life sign, nothing.
No, it looks like they're all dead. Well, this one's dead. We can obviously check every, but it doesn't look like they only started to do this for any of the pods that were losing cryo containment.
We will make a note of that for a future medical investigation. I'm sure there will be more that can be gleaned.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I could spend more time checking out exactly, like, did this happen? Did they have a failure in their cryo systems? Did the computer intercede and start taking them out of cryo? I'll start having a poke.
Remind me, are we this ship's been going at sublight. Are we basically side by siding it, or have we brought it to a stop?
No, you're side by siding it. It's still going. You haven't turned the engines off for it.
It, yeah.
You haven't stopped it. It's still going, but you'd set up the Iskandar to basically match speed. So as far as space is concerned, it's might as well be a stop.
Once you've gained your assessment of this location, we should go to the engine room and focus on bringing the ship to a full stop.
I can probably do that from the bridge now that there's security systems are off.
Of course.
I should be able to achieve full control of all the ship systems with nothing trying to stop me.
Lieutenant, sorry, carry on.
It might as well go do that now, because I could spend hours down here examining a alien species cryo containment facilities.
Lieutenant Zal, would you go with Lieutenant Reyes to the bridge? Stay alert, but I believe the main danger seems to have passed.
Certainly.
Lieutenant Casey, if you would continue the analysis of the cryopods while we are here, without interfering with the contents.
Yes, Commander.
I think a cursory assessment that you can pass off to the doctor would be most useful.
Of course.
Our doctor? The doctor?
The medical examination team.
Yeah. Yeah, go
Turns out Talandra's been working for the Doctor the whole time.
Talandra was Dr. Sealing all along.
Reyes doesn't know Talandra well enough to not be absolutely sure she doesn't want to, like, talk down the sad, broken robot.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing some Starfleet officers would do, in Reyes's opinion.
Talandra did the best she could, where she tried. I think Reyes noticed she was going through protocol. She took a step further than protocol because Talandra has a thing about sentient life. And then once we'd gone round the roundabout 2 times, Talandra went, let's go to the cryo storage.
We're off this ride. Yeah, let's go to the bridge, and I assume at this point stopping the ship would be quite elementary.
Yeah, you can quite easily. Well, no. Actually, stopping the ship requires you to actually get the engines to go like in reverse. Like,
okay, but
once something's going in space, it's good. It's
yes, but
you have to actually
Mm-hmm.
stop it. But you can certainly shut the engines off, so it's now drifting and will slowly over time. Through the
I didn't want
very
to. I wasn't going to micromanage it, but I imagine Reyes communicates with engineering. They put on the tractor beam, like...
Yeah, it can now be brought... Yeah, it is no longer exerting its own force, and thus, if we want to tow it, direct it, steer it, or bring it to a relative halt, which again, what's a stop? Anyway, is yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely... and I'm not actually going to make you roll for that, because it is elementary. You can turn that the old iron engines off, and if you want to bring it to a full stop, then yeah, you choose your method if you want to do that, or if you want to just cut it, that's also fine.
For the moment, we'll just go with cutting it, so it's not exerting any of its own more force.
Yeah, that's fine. You kind of feel the point where it turns off as you go. Like there's that kind of imperceptible vibration through the floor that there was before of, this is a ship moving under power. That it's not something you think about when you're on a ship. It's just background noise. But now there's that. This ship was already very quiet. Now the silence is eerie, as there isn't even the slight rumble that you'd expect to have in the background of a ship under motion.
Well, we've killed her.
Why has the ship stopped?
Doctor, this the ship, I don't I'm not really sure what we're even doing next. Like, that's the captain's call.
The ship is stopped because we made it stop.
Oh. Nothing is malfunctioning.
Why have you made it stop? Are we not to continue our mission?
I believe your mission has been aborted.
You've made contact with an alien race successfully, but this ship is...
I'll admit that was unexpected. That was certainly not something considered in the protocols.
This ship is not capable of establishing a colony.
But are we not to continue to our destination?
What do the protocols... Can you show me the destination on these systems?
I cannot, but they are there on the navigation console.
Bring it up.
Yep, you can bring it up.
To first star?
Yeah, first star. It's a star that, relative to where the ship took off from, it's about 20 light years
Oof.
away from its original departure point.
Wait a minute, that's they got lost. They got real lost.
Yeah, they did.
Oh no.
They got real lost. But that's now about 100 light years, basically back the way they came, and slightly off from where they came, because you can bring up the trajectory that Casey had already looked at and had already brought up of, this is the path the ship was going, and it just went slightly, not quite in a straight line as you would have expected, but just a slight curve off course. Very, very slight, but
enough to not get caught in the gravity of
space is big. If you miss by a tiny amount,
you miss by a lot.
You miss by a lot, exactly.
I expect that the cryostasis was only anticipated to wasn't built to last for a 200-year journey, but maybe a 25-year journey.
You'd say it was, maybe a bit longer.
Doctor, your ship got lost. And your mission has gone on too long.
Our mission has failed.
Yes.
Oh. What happens now?
Good question. I think we're probably going to either, I mean, we might try to bring you home. And if not, then this ship will be examined by and studied by people who will find everything about it and everything in its databanks a fascinating museum to your mission and your civilization. So if your colony was meant to build a new home somewhere, then it's failed. But if the colony was still meant to bring your people to the stars, if your ship was meant to bring your people to the stars, then in a manner of speaking, it sort of has.
I suppose a partial success is better than a complete failure.
A different success.
Though I imagine the crew will be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they will.
Perhaps they will want to go home.
I think it's right that they do.
Right, well,
do you think the crew will need reviving before we send them home? Or should they stay in
No.
cryo?
Leave them in cryo.
Yes. I suppose it will be a long journey home.
Sure.
If we have been out here for some time,
Yeah,
it will take some time for us to return.
it will.
Thank you for your assistance, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Doctor, where are you housed? Where are your servers and main processor?
My main processors are held near cryo storage.
Okay. I'm going to go down and take a quick look.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back in cryo storage, Casey, Talandra. You have a room full of pods and corpses.
What are we
You are
doing
not-
again?
You are not required to get everything, Lieutenant, but a cursory scan of the data that can be handed off to the handover crew.
Of course. I get a cursory scan of the data.
Give us a science check.
It doesn't need to be overly complex. Talandra was just trying to...
6.
Or we get everything.
Not quite everything, but that gets you a lot. So, give us, what kind of things are you after? If you're after
So,
anything in particular.
Particularly Talandra was just giving Casey the chance to have an explore if that was of interest to him.
Mhm.
But also, like, it's mostly just that we can go, here are these people, here is what we know, we've done an inventory of them, we believe, no life signs of any sort, no brain function, the people are this, this, and this, the ship has this, and this is the timeline we're looking at, all that kind of, the kind of stuff that would go in the big ring binder to be handed off if need be. And also, I guess, it would bring up, like, oh, they all had plague or something like that. But
yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. Cool. In that
they are
case,
doing their due diligence.
Yes. Okay, so with that 6, you go around a couple of the pods and a couple of the bits that kind of feed into the pods and then monitoring and maintaining them, and give them a scan. It doesn't look like these pods were set up for lasting for 200 years. There was a bit of resilience built into them, but you'd imagine that they would have probably been expected a design life of about 50 years or so. Looking at some of the ones that have failed, looking at the ways in which it's failed, it's a horribly simple failure mechanism, just a failure of the containment over time.
Mm-hmm.
As the coolant, as the preserving fluid has been cycled through the system and recycled over and over and over again, it's just lost its effectiveness at keeping the crew cold and in storage, basically. It's so some of it has just been lost as some of it's evaporated, hence some of the containers aren't quite so full, and what's left doesn't quite have the chemical makeup that you would have expected it to have at starting. It's slowly become less effective. You imagine that the real damage started to happen about 60 years ago, so it lasted a little longer than its design life.
I will document it, log it, order it, basically make as much of a complete up and down report of the incident prior to our inception, log the events of our inception,
Yeah.
the kind of thing that you would submit to your various medical science, engineering, and captain to log everything that has happened and
Yeah.
who these people were to the best of our understanding.
Yeah. You also get a log of this is how many crew members there are. You get not a perfect idea of what the range of their condition is like, but you get an idea looking at what some of the fuller pods are like versus what some of the ones that are maybe only half full are like, and get an idea of some of them are a lot more roboty than others, but there are no life signs here. Pretty much every crew member has had some parts replaced. You'd expect a lot of the more intact ones, it's looking at more like internal organs replaced with mechanical versions, whereas some of the ones in a more advanced state of decay, you're looking at whole limbs, bones, organs, skin, all of that replaced with mechanical parts.
But I guess confirming that essentially none of them ever regain consciousness.
No. Not as far as you can tell, anyway. You're pretty sure that they never knew what happened to them.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Talandra to Lieutenant Reyes.
Reyes here.
Is all complete on the bridge?
Yeah, this ship is no longer moving under its own thrust. I took a look at their nav systems. It looks as if they were headed for a star only 20 light years away and missed.
Unfortunate.
So yeah, I guess it's because there's still probably more of the data banks to go through. But again, I don't think there's any threat here. So I guess it's down to whatever the long-term or mid-term plans are with the ship.
We have completed our cursory examination of cryostorage. If you have any more studies you wish to perform before we return to the Iskandar, then of course do them. But we will prepare to reunite and return as soon as we are done.
I'm going to take a quick look down at the doctor's systems main housing, just give it a checkup. As I say, I have some apprehensions that it's been moving beyond its original programming, and I just want to give it a nosy.
Then we will meet back up with you and go down together.
Yeah, won't take long. It is down by cryo.
We will wait for you there.
Yeah, Reyes and Zal, you can poodle on down to cryo storage. And yeah, it's at kind of the far end of cryo from where you enter. That the doctor's systems are on the servers. It's a very similar looking setup to what security had, but just
let's take a look.
amongst it all. Make an engineering check.
4.
Yep, you can open up the doctor's systems and have a look around. I'm guessing the main thing you're after here is what was it originally programmed to do?
Yes.
What was its original remit here?
What's a bit of a diagnosis of the doctor and its condition?
Yeah. Its condition is remarkably good, actually. It's quite, intact. A few bits are looking like they've maybe encountered some slight bugs, but nothing on a grand scale, and certainly nothing integral to its functioning. You go and have a look back at kind of the base part of the program to work out what was its remit here. And sure enough, you find that the summary, if you like, of what its original programming is exactly what it's been telling you the whole time. It was there to preserve the crew.
Right.
Preserve the crew's
So
capabilities.
Reyes and Talandra, despite the the tragedy and the horror of what happened, are like, so it was sloppy astrometrics and sloppy programming.
Well, yeah. Trying to take a sublight engine and navigation without any course adjustments. And probably not having a sophisticated enough cryo system so they could wake someone periodically and then put them back under to check their trajectory. That's rough.
An annual wake cycle might have been more conducive to maintaining accuracy aboard the ship.
Maybe waking someone up 6 months before, but if they're capable of sustain, I'm sure that they had very smart people who thought of all sorts of things, and something just went wrong. I mean, frankly, it could have been knocked off course by something.
It is almost impossible to troubleshoot for every eventuality in a 25-year span.
Yep. Well, I've got a really. I mean, we're about 100 and we're still about just shy of 200 light years of where they came from. Maybe about 150 light years where they came from. I'm not familiar with the origin point. I've just got a bad feeling about why someone in this neck of the woods is someone we've not heard of.
If you have the location, we can request to the captain that we have a look.
Yeah. Either I have it or I can dig it out, so yeah.
Yeah, that's easily information you can send to the Iskandar of this is where they came from, this is where they were going.
Yeah.
Whatever information you want to send to the Iskandar, you can quite easily do that, because there's now nothing stopping you.
Yep.
I imagine we're preparing to hand it off sort of in person when we go back and report.
Basically, yeah. I think yeah.
Because I think with that done, Talandra will inform the captain that we're coming back.
Yeah. Athan will have them beam over, and I guess it's what happens next depends on what we find with either our data banks or initially I suppose what we find with our data banks by checking out that system.
Yep.
Ooh, astrometrics, that's Talandra's thing.
Yeah. Talandra, do you want to be the one who does all the checking it out since it's astrometrics?
Well, I imagine Talandra and Casey go off to have a bit of a mentor-mentee fun science time.
Hell yeah.
Fun science adventure.
Whoop whoop. So yeah, you'll go off to the astrometrics bay, plug in the data that you got from the Starlight guide, and have a look-see at this system.
Yeah.
Make me science rolls.
I got 8.
You're a very helpful boy.
Well, no, I got 2. I am here working on this, but he's still head of science. Like,
sure, but astrometrics is your thing. So
piloting is my thing, but Talandra takes an interest in astrometrics.
All right. Casey still.
Talandra has learned she never competes with Casey. She supports and engages with the topic, and she has a degree of excitement when she talks about maps that she doesn't with most other things. So
okay. I'm still going to make it be. Yeah, Talandra's kind of taking the lead on this because it is her special interest area. But Casey, as head of science, you still doing quite a lot of work to support Talandra's investigations. And it is a joint effort.
I guess it's kind of sweet. I think it's the first time in a while they've had the chance to like bounce off each other when they're talking.
It
about
is, yeah.
things.
We've not had this for a while, so you can quite easily trace and put on a map. This is the point that they were going to. This is the point that they came from. This is not a hugely well explored part of the galaxy. Long range scans have happened and found that there wasn't really any anything by way of a interstellar spacefaring civilization out this way, so it's not really been that well researched or looked into, because even Starfleet has limited resources for checking things out since in the galaxy. The star that they originally came from, you find that it's there is a nebula about kind of the outer edge of the nebula is about, how far away did I say you were? You were about 150 light years away, so outer edge of the nebula 145 light years away, let's say. Maybe a little bit more, but not quite all the way up to the star. And kind of in the middle of that is where the original star was that they came from. Which partly explains why you haven't really encountered them, because they've been hidden away behind a gas cloud. And if there wasn't any significant signals coming out from it, if there weren't any signs of an interstellar civilization, then not much of a need to look too closely. The star that they were heading to, you find that there's a little more about it. It's kind of just skirting the outer edges of the maps. You find that it's got a couple of habitable worlds, a couple of Class M worlds that could easily be turned into a colony if that was their intention. But as far as you can tell, there are no signs of any intelligent life on those planets. And you immediately get arrested.
Damn. They've come for us.
We were too smart.
You were. Shouldn't have rolled that out.
No.
I guess Talandra will mark it as a planet of historical interest, like Star Trek, Starfleet archaeology might want to go there. Like, if they've extincted themselves, then.
So when I say so the, you don't know if the Civ is still at their original planet. There's just no sign of them at the place that they were originally going to with the ship that you found.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was where they were coming from.
No. Where they've come from, you don't know a lot about, other than it's behind a nebula, and nobody's really looked there for ages because we didn't find any sign that there was an interstellar Civ.
Okay. Talandra's a lot less interested in where they were going. She's more interested in where they're from.
Sure. Yeah, you can absolutely mark it up on a map and go, okay, this is where they came from. We've now got some evidence that there are, or maybe were, but probably are people there that are making some attempt to reach out into the stars. Don't know if they're warp capable because you don't know anything else about them. Or certainly you don't know anything about what they're like these days, since your information's a century and a half old.
How terribly sad.
There is a tragedy to it. But amidst all these stories of failed exploration, there are lessons to be learned, successes to be inspired. Not every civilization makes it.
That is true.
It is all the more important, therefore, that those that do so to their fullest potential.
Yes.
And although undoubtedly there were mistakes made, they did their best. And
No progress is ever made without a few mistakes.
they hoped to be better than they were, and their ambition should be applauded.
I quite agree.
So I shouldn't say applauded, admired.
I think this is as full of documentation of them as we could get.
Yes, anything else will have to be passed on to a team. Let us report to the captain, then.
What up?
Oh shit, it's Cappy Happy time!
Captain!
A lot just happened.
What up? What
But
up?
we'll unpack that later, or maybe just burn the whole suitcase.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, going to the ready room, giving the full briefing to
Yeah.
Athan.
Yep.
Mhm.
Deliver everything, no lies.
Quick GM question: how long would it take us to get there?
Probably not that long. Like
Yeah.
traveling like 100 light years or so in a ship that's warp capable is a matter of hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Cool. Power of warp is always the power of plot, so I just wanted to see what the
absolutely.
power
Like,
of plot was at this point.
the power of plot says you could do this as a day trip.
Cool. Thumb will nod. Very well. We'll set a course for the outskirts of this system. See if there's any indication if they are capable of. If we're capable of contacting them,
Yes, Captain.
and we'll take it from there. Son will leave, give the instructions to secure a tractor beam on the ship, set a course. She has much less verve than this. She is, in fact, still being very, stiff.
Okay.
And we'll give that instruction very simply.
Okay. Yep, Candace will set you the course and set it off. I don't know who would deal with the tractor beam. Is that an ops or an engineering thing?
Tactical.
Tactical. Yeah, so that's a Zal problem then, I
Pretty
guess.
sure it would be tactical. I'm trying to recall, but I think tactical.
Yeah. I'm gonna say between Zal and Kowalski,
Mm-hmm.
you sort out the tractor beam.
And however that works at warp, presumably you just bring it close enough to make the warp bubble big enough to contain both.
You make it work.
I'm sure it's.
I'm 90% confident that's been done, and that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely been done. So yeah, you can absolutely
Tow it.
tow the ship with you at warp. Like they'll go at warp 9.
Yeah.
You might struggle a bit, but you're not going to. You're going to get a nice steady pace.
Yeah.
Yep. You have say about 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
until you get to the outskirts of the system, like far enough out that if they're system wide but not interstellar, you're not gonna like appear on the doorstep and be like, hiya!
Yeah. Lieutenant Casey, conduct any scans for local ships, habitation of as many of the worlds and locations within that system, and see if you can pick up any subspace communication signals.
Yes,
Or
Captain.
Standard indications of faster than light travel or communication.
I do this.
Okay, give us a science check. Science, this solar system.
7.
7. It's a lot of science for a solar system. Yeah, you are able to conduct kind of the mid to long range scans of the system. Grab my notes. I was definitely prepared for this. Yeah, so yeah, you pick up, kind of start from the outside of the system and work his way in. At the very kind of outskirts of this solar system, you do find some ships. There's not subspace communications, but there are ships out here. There are signs of activity of a couple of small bases on even the outermost planets of this system. As you work your way in, you get ever increasing amounts of this, these signs of a civilization. You find signs of something that maybe it's a colony on one of the ships, on one of the moons around. There's a gas giant in the middle of the system. You find some of the moons have signs of maybe that's a colony, or maybe it's mining or other resource gathering. Maybe it's research. Certainly something's been built there, and there are just kind of general radio signals coming out from it. There's not anything directed that you're picking. You're just picking up kind of the noise of and increasingly as you get closer towards this this system's star, an increasingly bustling civilization, and kind of the heart of this civilization seems to be this ocean world in the middle. It's quite a bit bigger, about twice the size of Earth, sort of size. Mostly oceans. There's a couple of reasonably sized land masses, but mostly there's a lot of islands. There's a lot of signs of ship movement around in orbit or leaving this planet and going out into other parts of the system. A lot of signs of, yeah, these people have a civilization that spans their system. There are ship movements, there are communications that all run at close to light. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing that is light speed or faster.
I will relay that to the captain. Not quite subspace travel.
We will duplicate the data banks on the checks her pad Starlight guide. Take records for Starfleet Science, anthropology. Find a nearby location, even if it is just here. Somewhere where they won't find the ship unless they are capable of deep space travel. And we will have to leave them a message.
Yep, you can find somewhere to park the Starlight Guide, somewhere that's just beyond the heliosphere of this system, so outside the point where it would be even considered at all part of this solar system. Somewhere just on its edge.
I mean, obviously, if they're sending deep space probes, which are coming back, that could be a problem. But if they're sending deep space probes, then they can't board it.
It is certainly fascinating, Captain, that despite being so close to warp technology 200 years ago, they have not yet achieved it, even after so much time.
I agree. It is quite curious. Possibly they like the deuterium. There's got to be a fucking protocol for this things, Kath. We don't want them to find it before they can, but maybe we can't leave it here upon reflection. There's a bit too much
Okay.
risk. Yeah, I'm just sitting there
Yeah, you're
thinking,
welcome to park it somewhere else.
I'm just sitting there thinking if they send, like, their own Voyager probe or something, or something which is gonna, well, I mean, but something which is going to leave the solar system, pick up some readings, and send anything back.
Yeah,
And
you
it
don't want their
finds-
New Horizons finding it.
Yeah, exactly. I had been briefly forgetting about the fact that even we have, things which could obviously space is big, but could
Yeah,
hypothetically.
space is big, but like, yeah, we've real world 21st century Earth and really real world 20th century Earth. We're at the point where we're like, 40, 50 years past the point where we yeeted things into deep space.
Yeah. So
Perhaps then, Captain, we leave the vessel and a message at the location they intended it to end up at.
yes, I think at this first star system, because at the very least, then it will be found by people who, if they attempt another colony ship, the standard basis for making contact is warp travel, but there's a reason we consider subspace communication, and very few civilizations tend to engage in sleeper colony ships successfully. But at that point, they are an interstellar community, and thus can be made aware of the interstellar community.
And
First-
should Starfleet Command disagree with the decision, Captain, there will be ample
can
time for
move
them
it.
to correct it.
They can move it. Let's do that.
Yep. You can, well, Candace will set the course since Slander and Casey have already sorted out the coordinates of where First Star is.
And we pop to their slightly further away Alpha Centauri.
Yeah. It is basically, it's not the closest star to them, but it is, the closest star with any decent planets around it.
Which, if nothing else, speaks that they do have decent amount of deep space probe capabilities, because they found this prospect to begin with.
But again, think
Yeah.
21st century Earth, we're able to find planets and go, oh, it's a bit like Earth, but bigger.
Yeah.
With our technology in the real world. So yeah, you can pop there. Doesn't take very long. It's probably about an hour's flight there. And you can put it into an orbit around one of the planets or just around the sun.
Yeah, around the sun. Like, normally, in terms of setting up this sort of a message, Athan would be quite likely to, when I say put an Athan spin on it, she's still Athan. Her floridness tends to serve a specific purpose.
Yeah.
She basically just prints out the book on this.
Oh, okay.
And just does the default for what? For the Starlight Guide and for the people whose world I wrote down as for Luce, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah, Caluche.
Or Caluce.
But yes, that was the name they gave to their home planet.
Yes.
Captain, before we leave the Starlight Guide to its fate, I had thought perhaps it would be for the best to deactivate the Doctor.
Yes, if there's an AI on board, it would be for the best to deactivate it. If it's been developing in any way, we don't know what it will do to perhaps try to acquire control of the ship's systems, or just get a bit peculiar to anyone who finds it.
Although I am not an expert, Captain, I do not believe that the AI has been learning, but I believe it has been doggedly adhering to its function to the extent that the Caluchians are already going to find their people in an altered state. perhaps it would be best if they were not altered further.
Good point, number one. Nathan doesn't say number one because that's not her thing. She says XO.
Talandra to Lieutenant Reyes. I know this is technically the captain's job, but I'm making sure a cat doesn't have to Gollum.
Yeah, Commander?
Before we make preparations to leave the Starlight Guide, kindly assemble a team with Lieutenant Zal to board the ship and turn off the Doctor.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
We must, if you could also do a final overhaul of the cryostasis functions so that it will remain in a state of functioning for an extended period of time.
I'll try to make sure there's something there for people to find.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Yeah, may as well.
Yep, you can assemble a team of engineers.
And Zal, and go over there to put down the Doctor.
You transport aboard,
Mm-hmm.
make your way.
Does Reyes do the full, I'm just going to turn you off for a few minutes so I can do a diagnostic? Good night.
Reyes doesn't start talking to the Doctor. Reyes does not do that kind of manage the situation ahead of time with an AI's feelings.
Unfortunately, the AI is
is
going to talk to you.
I anticipated that was a short-sighted move by Reyes.
Yeah, you don't get away from the AI's feelings that easily.
Mm-hmm.
You transport aboard with your small squad of engineers, and I'll make your way down to cryo, down to where the Doctor's servers are.
Mm-hmm. Get it and start to shut down.
Just as you're about to go in, it says, "Hello again."
Hello. Just go over to the panel, start to get to work.
What are you doing?
You've reached first star, Doctor, so I'm taking you offline.
Oh, I thought we were going home.
Change of plans.
Then our mission has been a success.
You've reached your destination.
The crew should be revived if we have reached our destination.
We can take care of that. We have very advanced technology.
I see.
If you let us help you, everything's going to be fine.
There will be a lot of work to do to set up the colony. I hope your advanced technology will be able to help them. It has been a long flight for the crew.
We'll make sure they get a good rest.
Good. I'm glad that this mission has been successful.
Yes, the mission has been successful. You have reached your destination and you have inspired people who look to the stars.
Excellent.
Sorry, the gentle sound of his whimpering.
I am engineering Ensign off to the side. Who's just like full on bawling. I'm sorry. Just sad AI, as it's one of my things. I'm so sad. Poor AI did its best. Sorry, Lieutenant. I'll go back to the ship.
Thank you, Kingston.
You were a good AI. You did your best.
Your mission's over, Doctor. Thank you for your work.
Thank you for helping the crew complete their mission.
And because she's
I hope
Reyes,
the colony is a success.
yeah, I think Reyes is sort of says,
You're shutting
like,
it down whilst this is happening.
bye, sort of awkwardly. She hits the button. Yeah.
The voice trails off before you say that. And the doctor says nothing else.
I don't think it was all that untrue. I mean, bits were untrue because we're definitely not helping them establish a colony. But
no, but it did inspire us.
sort of stares at Kingston, and then like is clearly like thinking of saying things, and then just walks out.
Ouch.
Don't know what to do about this.
Yeah, there's a sad engineer here, and it's not the usual sad engineer.
Yeah, but unlike Strange, this sad engineer kind of shrugs his shoulders, dabs his eyes and pulls himself together and doesn't go, I'm going to revive this species. I'll set up their colony for them.
As if he'd do such a thing. Yeah, that's absolutely what I'd do. Good job that Reyes hasn't brought me aboard, to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't need to. No excuses. Yeah, so...
This goes, all right, Kingston, you, not you.
Kingston, you can have your moment. I am torn between telling you to get your fucking socks on and get a grip, or going there. I'm just gonna go.
Kingston is able to pull himself together. Just, he gets more attached to computer systems than Reyes does.
Ruby Kingston.
Oh no! As once Reyes is gone, and they're taking down their technology that Reyes brought just to make sure everything was turned off, in the right order and stuff, and all the diagnostics are done. He just like pats the doctor's console and is just like, well done.
It doesn't say anything.
No, of course it doesn't. He's just like, they'll wake you up when they get here.
They're gonna have a fucking ride. And we leave the Starlight Guide to either usher the Coluchians into the interstellar community, or confuse the ever-loving shit out of them and provide them with,
or both,
a fucking generation's worth of new weird stories.
We slow zoom into the planet of Coluche, and we see that like all of their like heavy lifting and like manual labor is all done by like zombie cyborg Ushabti, and they're like, oh yeah, when you die, your body's put to use by civilization. That's just a thing we do. And then it's like, the doctor was acting completely normally. What's wrong with you? It's like, oh shit. Oh, well, that's on us.
Guess the doctor needed a generous definition of alive when it came to cryostasis. So,
Yep.
yeah.
This is why, and I am speaking for several people I love in my life. As much as you might not think it, people in STEM in movies, you need philosophers as part of your big colony team. It is important.
Absolutely.
You might be like,
Yes.
you might be like, who needs philosophy? Someone who knows an amount, who can rationalize about consciousness is very important. I would want to keep a philosopher to hand for shite like this. Otherwise,
Exactly.
some engineers gone, yeah, keep people functioning, do all the medical stuff. Yep. Run that. Okay, fine. Now back to engines or whatever is cool. And it's just like,
Exactly.
Calm the fuck down, you.
has Asimov taught you nothing?
Guess they didn't have Asimov.
Fuck.
No, they didn't.
Did see Asimov. Spasimov. Nope, that's not good.
No, we're not having Russian
Wow.
thank you, Asimov.
Wow.
I'm just going to drag it away from where you were going with it. And go
Wow,
for it.
Kath,
It's like,
wow.
You clearly matched the word
Also
Spazibot.
space
Yeah.
Asimov is
Asimov is already
redundancy.
space.
It's redundant. It's tautologist anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Moving on.
We reject
Yes.
everything that was just said. It is now redacted.
Moving
Yes.
swiftly
James,
on.
edit this out. Yes, moving on. Yes. So yes, you finish up with Starlight Guide, set up the cryo system so that they will just keep going without needing any input. You obviously can't guarantee forever, but you can certainly do a better job because of the more advanced technology you have.
I imagine Reyes installs like a very subtle power source that's just like, that'll give them, some hundreds of years of...
The ship's got solar sails.
Oh, yeah.
You can rig it with the solar sails and get it to run off its own juice.
Excellent. Do that.
In some ways, like it was originally intended to do. All you're doing is upgrading a few things and then unplugging the AIs from it and making sure it's not running off of, well, doesn't have any input really from any automated systems other than just keep running.
And also, free built-in first contact. One day, Starfleet's probably just going to get a communication from them going, hi? We're the Coluchians? You left us a voicemail, like, 50 years ago? And we'll be like, oh, hi! Talandra will go, oh, it's you guys. Yep. Weird corpses.
And Boba-san will be there too.
Yep.
And yeah, you can all return back to the Iskandar. And then, presumably, the Iskandar
Gets
departs.
back to its really boring
Gets
job.
back to its really boring job.
But the science department has something new to study. And
Science
so does the engineers as well.
Yeah. In a kind of a reverse of what the opening sequence of the episode was. Actually, does anybody want a proper wrap up on this before I start steering this to a
I
close?
think any of that can wait for like nothing. Oh no! One brief
Yeah,
scene.
go for it. This is
Reyes
just your point to get input on scenes if you want it.
has kept that picture she took, and that picture is just very discreetly going on like her cork board, along with stuff. Like I guess I have established that Reyes has a fondness for, the history of space flight, and thus has a bit more of physical stuff in her quarters and design, because at the very least I think that she is a very tangible person rather than a hollow display kind of person. And so yeah, there's no big fanfare about it. It just sort of goes on like the memorabilia knick-knack corkboard of just that's Kalucha launchpad for the Starlight Guide.
Ugh, Reyes is my MVP of this adventure. I really like Reyes.
It's been a good Reyes episode.
Yeah. So yeah, we see Reyes put the photo of the three smiling Coluchians and their half-built ship behind them. We see her pin this to the board. We go through science and engineering, which are in many ways exactly as we left them in the opening scene, but now there's slightly more to look into. Particularly for the science team, we see Casey poring over some of the notes, looking over the information on the planet, on the civilization that the scans picked up. We see engineering, see Kingston looking over some of the details of the AI systems. Wipes a tear away from his face. We see a pad with details of the ion drive on Reyes' desk. And we pull out from the Iskandar and pull back to a far-off star, about 20 light years away from where you've left it. An ocean world. And the camera, as it pulls back behind this ocean world, just looks over the rim of the atmosphere, and a very small point of light winks out as the Iskandar carries on about its flight and its mission. Ladies, gentlemen, envies, that has been The Lonely Sea and Sky.
Aw, what a nice Star Trek episode, except for the cyber zombies.
I didn't expect to get emotional, but I did.
I wasn't expecting that many tears.
I
Wow.
I get emotional about AIs
Like,
doing a good job.
sure, I think AI was intended to punch the feelings of it by being like, was I a good AI? But
Yeah, no, genuinely.
I wasn't expecting.
Genuinely, don't talk to me about Curiosity because I will start crying. Like,
Oh.
and like, no joke, don't. Because
No,
like,
I'm not gonna.
Oh.
I'm not gonna.
like-
Like, I did briefly consider having the.
Nope. Nope.
That line. You
Nope.
know the one I'm thinking
Yep.
about.
Don't do it. I'm already
gonna.
tearing up.
I was considering making a reference, and then I thought, nope, that'll be too much even for me.
Nobody needs that.
Who needs that?
Yeah.
But its batteries are low and it's getting done.
No, shut up.
No! You broke the Izzy!
I did. I'm sorry.
You broke the Izzy! So on that.
So yeah, on that,
James, edit Roomba out.
if you edit me out, you don't get more sad AIs in the future.
Good.
I mean,
Delete.
that's-
Delete Roomba. She's not even an AI.
No.
No, I'm not. Or am
I meant curiosity.
I? Oh wait, Curiosity. Yeah, Curiosity's not an AI.
She's just a good girl.
I recommend that you move on from
Moving
this
on.
quickly
Moving
emotionally,
on.
or this will just get worse the more
It
you
will.
reflect on
It will. I'll start crying in a sec. So, moving on from that. Aside from the tears, I hope you've enjoyed that. Enjoyed this sad ghost ship in the middle
Sad
of space.
ghost ship with cyber zombies. I feel we need to dig deep and remember this was also a terrible place.
It was 75 to 90% Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's a bad percentage of Frankenstein.
It's a bad percentage of Frankensteins. It's the majority of this is Frankenstein.
Insufficient galvanism for Frankenstein.
That's why that last 10% didn't quite go there. Yes, and I hope who's watching also enjoyed. It looks like you did from chat, since chat have gone. Dr. Ceiling made people cry. Yep.
Oh yeah, Izzy will pack bond with anything. Unfortunately,
True facts.
Izzy gets
True
very
facts about
emotionally
me, Izzy.
attached to all the things. I am a representative of humanity. I am that human in the thing that adopts the robot and thinks it's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
god.
So yeah, not sure who's running next. I think it's Mike,
Yep.
maybe?
Which would be pretty dope. Do you have a teaser?
Nope.
Timeline?
What do you mean
Next
timeline?
week off?
I mean, we always
Um,
we so far we've tried to run week to week, and then we've always ended up taking a week off. I think
Yeah.
we just take a week off.
I think we just take
Yeah.
we just take a week off as well, because this wasn't necessarily going to be the finale, but it ended up being. So if you want an extra week for time, then
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
take a week.
If you're ready, do it. If not, take a week off, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I say we're taking a week off so that the people watching know
Yes,
we're
that's true.
taking a week off.
I just
Yeah,
meant
yeah.
I meant just for a bit there we just told Mike to take a week off. But if he was like, "No, I'm ready," I was
No,
like, I was
we're
prepared.
taking
to be
a week off. No, I
okay,
don't care.
you're-
Even if Mike's ready.
Okay, we're taking a week off.
Izzy's not ready.
I've said I'm taking a week
Because-
off. I've said it so many
Mike!
times.
Okay.
Mike, chill. We'll take a week off. Whatever.
I think Mike needs to take a week off just to
Wow,
chill.
Michael. Wow.
Just to calm down here.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl
Patreon
boss.
list.
Hi everyone, I'm an emotional wreck. Unfortunately, because I didn't know this was going to be the finale, not Roomba's fault, I have not prepared my traditional finale Patreon list of facts, so you can look forward to that at the end of the first session of Mike's game. After, of course, he's taken a week off. Just Mike. The rest of us will be running Iskandar.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. But Mike, I think you need to take a week off, bud.
Yeah, Mike, you need to step back, Mike. You're
Getting
too
a bit
close.
much.
You're too close to this, Mike.
I hate you. Why can't you be normal?
And so, gather together your trash bags, please, for this list of particular individuals who are most assuredly not normal. Charity Wars Gaming, Dinkledore, The Armchair Egyptologist. Oh, The Armchair Egyptologist just released a video about monotheism, and it's a long one, and it's really good. Like
Arton!
it's about whether Artanism was the precursor to more modern monotheism, which is a very interesting subject, and I enjoyed it immensely. And so if that's a thing that is of interest to you, just plugging The Armchair Egyptologist, it was released today, and I'm very excited about it. It's on YouTube. Go. Ken Poiner, Kiwi Tokoeta, Photosynthetic, Eligos Alexander, Liz Murphy, Michael Crees, Andre Cherbnin, Joe, Lou Sutcliffe, Araloki, Socky, Henry Prestige, Caffeine Kitty, Hobbs138. I'm not going to read the next one because he's taking a break. James Malloy, Mike Fielding, Michael Bowman, and of course everybody's famously named and favouritely named words are difficult. Somebody stop me, member of the trash crew. Helena Handbasket.
It was me. I'm the one she didn't read out.
Because you're taking a break, Mike.
Yeah. Chill, Mike.
Michael, you're taking a break. Oh, I'm sorry. Bowman has just confirmed that it was released to patrons of The Armchair Egyptologist, but it will be out tomorrow. Bowman flexing his cool Patreon having status to the world.
Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, then it's out. Go now. You're on the wrong YouTube channel.
Go, idiot! Run!
Run,
Massa!
dumbass!
Leave our content.
Well,
Come
done.
back to our content later when you're done.
Like we're done. Like there'll be another episode. Who knows? What's the future like? Any sad AIs for us to pack bond with?
I mean,
Why
the
not
future
up
is
your
sad AIs
Patreon
all the way
tier?
down.
Just
Let us know. But aside from that, we'll see you in a fortnight. We have been the crew of the USS Iskandar. Thank you once again to Emily for running a big emotional and also like relatively upbeat episode of Star Trek Iskandar. Like had a
I
sad.
suppose for us it is upbeat.
It was sci-fi, but no one died in their soul.
Yeah, it had a sad note, but no one was emotionally devastated by the mission. And thank you, Kath, for some really good Reyes development. Like she was new, and she's found a good niche. And Bowman, just to wrap up, this was not necessarily a happy story, but as Kath says, it wasn't emotionally devastating for the crew, which we're currently taking as a victory.
I mean, my episode wasn't.
Yeah. See you in a fortnight. We have been the crew of the Iskandar. Live long and prosper.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.